I tell you what, how is this franchise still going? Like, can't believe they're on 6. Let's look into Scream 6. So Scream 6 is the 6th installment into the Scream franchise. So basically we're following the cast of characters returning from the previous movie, and basically they're in the Big Apple now, and there's a new Ghostface Killer emerging in New York City. But however, this Ghostface Killer is different compared to the other previous people that have taken on the Ghostface Killer mask, and yeah, now there's a killing spree happening in New York City. Okay, now just to keep in mind guys that Courtney Cox is the only returning character from like the original Scream movies. So she's still playing Gale Weathers in this movie. Now she is basically making a presence here, and she's kind of there as like a bit of an explanation for you know, Cindy Prescott not being part of this movie. Like, I mean, obviously we all know that Neve Campbell like got a pretty bad deal when it came to appearing in this movie, so she declined to return. But however, it is nice to see at least one original character in this movie. We also get Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega returning as the Carpenter sisters, Sam and Tara. Now, the thing with this movie is that they are the two main girls that are featured pretty much prominently throughout the movie. Now, there is a bit of a plot point here where Sam is having rumors spread around that she was basically behind the killings in the previous movie, and that's sort of lingering over her head, and it's also causing a lot of mental health issues for her. And I kind of like that character trait where that type of scenario is still continuing on from the previous movie, and it's not like that it's like a sequel where that plot point from the previous movie, they just decided to can it in this one and solve it in that one. No, it's still continuing on, which I find is pretty interesting. And also it is kind of a bit, you know, not really the center of attention. It's kind of like a bit of a side type of plot point for the character. But at least this time, Jenna Ortega's character, Tara, isn't, you know, bedridden in a hospital this time. She does get a lot more better play in this movie as well. Yeah, so we all know at this point that the Scream movies are at franchise status at the moment, and this is where things start to get a bit interesting when, you know, the main characters talk about, you know, like the actual movie involved around the Ghostface Killer, especially considering that, you know, in this movie's universe, these Scream movies are called Stabbed, and basically, you know, there's a lot of references when it comes to movie franchises now, and that's the thing now. It is agreeable that, you know, like a lot more horror movies now are turning into franchises because of their reboots, remakes, and sequels and all that, but this movie does really do a bit more of a deep dive into that. Now, here's the thing with the Scream franchise. It is a love letter to not only films, but just mainly horror movies in general. So, like, we basically had Scream movies where they poked fun at horror movies, you know, sequels, threequels, like even, you know, like trilogies of movies, reboots, remakes, and now this time, it's more tackling around franchises now. Now, I really want to touch upon the new Ghostface Killer that is featured throughout this movie as the main villain to this movie. Now, we do have had a lot of, you know, different variations of the Ghostface Killer, but he's always been the same pretty much, you know, just that clumsy, you know, like serial killer, you know, masked, you know, like villain that's always running around with a knife and just stabbing people out of nowhere and jumping out of places. But I love that they added different elements to this actual version of the Ghostface Killer. Like, for one thing, this time he's using guns. And also, there are moments as well where he just does not give a flying F who's around. Like, there's a moment, and this is probably my favorite scene in the movie, where, you know, a couple of the characters, they enter into this convenience store, and there's a bunch of people around, and he just brutally kills a bunch of people, like, in front of people. And I'm just like, damn, like, this is hardcore. And that's what I like about this movie compared to the previous one. Like, it adds something different, and it does do things that, you know, like, you just don't expect in for a sequel. Like, sure, you'll get, like, the cliche moments where, you know, like, something will happen to a character that has happened in a previous movie, but in this one, It does add a bit more tension to this movie, and also it does make the guessing of who the killer is a lot better in this one. Like, for me personally, the last movie, I guessed the killers from like literally miles away, but in this one, when it's revealed what's actually happening in this movie, I was just like, wow, I was actually shocked. Like, I was not actually expecting how it was going to be revealed in this one. But another thing too is that this movie actually had quite a number of surprises as well. Like, there were certain people that were involved in the movie that I actually was not expecting to be in this movie, and especially as well, there are a couple of particular characters as well that make an appearance. There are some that actually do make a reappearance, but I'm not going to explain anything until you guys see the movie, that's for sure. Now, overall with this movie, I do like number 6 compared to the previous movie, number 5. I do love the idea that this is more of a focus on franchises right now, and what I like about this movie as well is the Ghostface Killer in this movie is much different compared to the other ones, and it adds a lot more tension compared to the previous movie. And also, you know, to me as well, it's definitely one of my top 3 favorite Scream movies so far. So for this movie in general, I do feel like it's a movie you guys will love, and I also feel like it is a movie that's worthy of a rewatch. But what do you guys think of Scream 6? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow my socials up here as well, and as always, as I say at the end of these videos, get me some goddamn M&Ms.
Miss Hoover, the movie's over.
Down in front!